Stories about casual sex on college campuses have long been a staple of cable news. But the truth is more nuanced. College students are actually not having more sex than their parents did a generation ago. But something has changed, not just in what students do or what they don't do, but in how they think.
I have students who have had sex many times drunk, but have never held someone's hand.
If casual sex was taboo a generation ago, emotional intimacy has become taboo today. It's something to be explored in secret, maybe even something to be ashamed about.
I think it feels bad to be used, but I think the alternative is that nobody wants to use you, and I think that that's worse.
You're essentially treating other people as objects. They're just sexual objects without any emotions or feelings or emotional intimacy attached to them. And I think that's where hookup culture becomes problematic. So I don't think in itself hookup culture is a problematic thing. I just think the way in which we do it is really harmful.
That you begin to conflate your own worth with attention from people who would want to have sex with you. But hookup culture and parties are pretty inextricably linked.
I think alcohol is a huge part of hookup culture because it kind of allows people to feel more out of control and unrestricted in their behaviors, and so they're more likely to have sex with people they don't know.
I did not hook up with anyone here until the second semester of my sophomore year, and I think up until that night, I genuinely think every single night I went out, even if I had so much fun what I was doing, I went home feeling some sort of disappointment or this night, there could have been more to this night.
That a lot of people have that mentality. They'd rather end the night with someone and feel shitty the next morning than just go home alone and feel invisible. Because I think it really is that's central to hookup culture, is we're all just seeking that feeling of being wanted because it's so hard to get that feeling otherwise. It takes so much effort to get that feeling otherwise. Yeah. And it takes a lot of effort to get that feeling from yourself.
I felt just kind of let down that I'm just grabbing some moss sticks and heading home. It's just a very nebulous sense of disappointment, and I think I only realized that that's what it was once I was out of that sort of mental paradigm. When I started valuing spending time with my friends more, I was this was a good night because I got to dance with my friends, and that's what I wanted out of this.
I don't want to generalize, but I think for most people, sex will always be an emotional thing. The way that our brains work and our bodies work, the chemicals we release when we have sex, very bonding chemicals. And you don't have to just have sex with people you love or people you're dating, but you also shouldn't expect that you can just treat your body in a way that you're just using it as a physical object and using other people as physical objects, because there's going to be mental and emotional repercussions.
As we become adults, we should be learning how to express our emotions clearly to other people, but hookup culture does everything but that, and we're taught to not only suppress our emotions, but to pretend they're not there and actually show the opposite emotion that we have.
With the whole women's revolution, there were two aspects to it where we wanted women to be able to act like men without negative repercussion, and we also wanted women to be able to act like women and for that to be valued. And how we got the first bit, we have women CEOs, women in STEM, that sort of stuff is on the rise, but we didn't get the second bit where it's femininity still isn't valued in our society, in the way that we interact with each other. And I think a huge, that plays into hookup culture in a really significant way. It doesn't in any way foster or value honesty or caring for other people and showing vulnerability in a way that's rewarded positively,
So you write in the book that hookup culture demands carelessness, rewards callousness, and punishes kindness. Both men and women are free to have sex, but neither is entirely free to love.
Just how powerfully hookup culture has convinced students that they should be embarrassed for having feelings and feel weak for wanting connection. I mean, I'm very, very impressed by the students. They're wonderful people, but the culture is very toxic, and it makes it really difficult.